Alright, much shalom, people. Pray y'all doing well. So, I have to leave this message on you guys because I know it's needed. So, so I had a little situation recently, and many of you guys who are following Christ may have gone through this type of situation, but it speaks to a whole lot more to this specific. It's two for me. There's two situations for me, but it speaks a whole lot more to than these two specific ones, right? And hopefully, when I get done through with it, yeah, you will, be edifying for you, right? Hallelujah. So, so there was one situation on Facebook where a sister had posted something about 6'7", right? And just out of like love, I was just trying to I made a comment on the post, right? And all I was trying to do was just kind of warn her about certain things because there was that rapper Skrilla that did the whole 6'7" thing, where he mentioned he did like some type of sacrificing on some podcast, and so even some people went into more in-depth analysis of it when they realized the number 6 meant sacrificing a type of animal. I'm not gonna go into it too much. I was just, whether it's true or not, whether it's like factually or not, but you just want to give a little warning, just to be careful. That's all it was, right? Because we understand like the world, how it is when it comes to their music and their messages or their influence, whatever they decide to do into the broad path that they're following. And so I just mentioned something like that, and what had happened was she had gotten offended, and she had unfriended me, right? Because of due to her past, she was a part of a cult that did her pretty dirty. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess when you join a lot of groups, religious groups, certain churches, they have a type of religious spirit on them where for example, her daughter would draw rainbow animals, and because the rainbow, the Noah, where you got the rainbow, when God made the covenant with the rainbow with Noah, it was supposed to be it was a covenant made between them. Sorry, I got my tongue twisted here. And so anyways, her daughter would draw rainbow images, rainbow horses, because of the story of Noah, which is a beautiful thing. But then you're part of this church or / cult, and what happens? They're saying, oh, they're mistaking it, or they're perceiving it as like the LGBTQ stuff. Like, oh, is she kind of following that side, right? So there's there is a bit of understanding when it comes to that, because of what the world has done with the rainbow, and of course they removed one color from it, so it's 6 colors, right? Go figure. So, but her thing was that originally it's God, everything belongs to God, but as the world has I guess through the history, they have tried to claim things for themselves, or man is trying to claim things for themselves, or change things up for their own agendas, for their own ways, right? So like the scriptures say, a way seeming right unto man, but it leads to destruction, right? So as we go on, so I guess she didn't appreciate my comment on her post, and she was saying something along the lines of I've responded to, but she said something along the lines if you do have something to say, you could have messaged her, I could have DM'd her first. And that really pissed me off, man. I ain't gonna lie, though. That really got me angry. However, though, what I had said was to myself, you know what? I was gonna give a bit of a rebuttal response, you know what? I ain't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? What is more important right now? Me being right about the situation, or just giving love? And I believe loving was a whole lot more better than just being right about a situation. So and at the same time too, you gotta understand where she came from, what she went through. So this is where we really gotta show a lot of charity and love to the saints. So I say much love and much shalom, my sister, and be blessed, right? So, and I think that's the best way to handle it, because that's what Jesus says. These Matthew 22, verse 36 to 40. It talks about loving God and loving your neighbor, right? These two laws, or these two commands, hangs all the law and the prophets. So, this is important. This is important right here, love. All right, and I had another situation with another brother, and it's kind of funny. It's the same. They came from the same cult group or church group, so so I mean that's not funny. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but kind of similar situation where like I just sent him some information because it was some information video sent to me, so I just sent it over to him. I thought he might need to use it, maybe want it. It was a good informative video, and there was an offense there. He got angry at me. He called me. I wasn't able to pick up. I was like working. Left me a voicemail saying, he just kind of explained like he kind of said like I supported this group even though I don't believe I did, but I'm not gonna defend myself right now. So there's no need to defend myself. God knew what my intention was. But then he said on lines of like, just don't contact them anymore. And so, I'm gonna honor both their wishes, both their requests, right? The sister and the brother. And so I'm not gonna contact them anymore. And sometimes you gotta go through that long suffering, right? So the moral of this, I think, coming down to this being that people consider the last days, right? But there's definitely an increase of knowledge. The knowledge has been increasing rapidly, and it's rapidly increasing. But you know what? Not only the knowledge, because with knowledge that comes the understanding increases and the wisdom increases. So everything increases rapidly, and that means the truth is going to increase very, very rapidly. But with that being said, what's more important, or what's more needed too, is the love needs to increase. That is more important. The love needs to increase. The joy needs to increase. The peace needs to increase. Okay? Kindness needs to increase. Goodness needs to increase. Meekness needs to increase. I think there's two more. Self-control needs to increase, and patience needs to increase. So these things need to increase much more. They need to increase much more, because at the end of the day, this is a relationship that we're building with the Most High. So, I know this message needs to be out there. So, and for you saints out there, this is not only towards churches. This is not only towards, if you want to say Hebrew Israelite camps. This is towards all you guys, wherever you are, even in your day-to-day lives. You could be working in construction, you could be working in an office. Your love, Galatians 5:22 and 23, the fruits of the spirits in you need to increase, and they got to be shown daily. You have to be easily read like an open book. And so I pray this message was edifying, and I know it needs to get out there. And it's time for it's gonna be a lot of rising up. So with that being said, man, y'all have a wonderful day. Much shalom, much love, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Peace.